Hello everybody and welcome to the Pritchard Cycling News Show. This episode is going to be good. There's a lot of stuff happening today. First and foremost, congratulations to each and every one of you that decided to subscribe. We hit 10,000 subs. It's been a long time coming, I'll be honest, and I never actually thought I'd achieve such a big number, I guess. So thank you to each and every one that subscribed way back in the day, recently, and anytime really. Thank you so much. Without you, none of this happens, so pat yourself on the back, you did. Now, if this is what I think it is, so YouTube never expected me to ever get anywhere near this kind of number. So they said to me, Pritch, listen, if you ever get to 10,000, we'll send you something special. And I can't believe it's here already. Wait there. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh. There it is. My 10,000 sub play button. I'll just give you a closer look. This is 10,000 subs, and it's got some, I guess, some of my biggest achievements on YouTube so far. So the first one obviously being Cameron Jeffers' Sidekick. Without him, I'd be nothing. It's made by Dutch Wood. It's trademarked Dutch Wood, this. So, you know, it's solid real wood. Here we've got hashtag Chris CP for Tokyo. However, I think that's a little bit optimistic from YouTube. So maybe hashtag CP for Birmingham 2022 is more apt. Balls deep. That's the way we always ride, isn't it? Here we've got crotch cam. Now I understand that a lot of people who haven't been part of the channel for a long time won't actually know what crotch cam means. So if you want to know and you want to see crotch cam in action, then I highly suggest that you stay around and tune in throughout the winter when we go back to our Zwift and various other online training platform streams. They're really fun. So there you go. And on the back here is an exclusive. Anyway, so not only have we achieved 10,000, yay, but it's stage 6 of the tour. I've not even transitioned. I get 10,000 subs and all of a sudden I think I can just do what I want. I apologise. Transition. All right, sorry about that. So, as I was saying, stage 6, Tour de France, the first summit of this year's Tour de France. Les Planches del Belfields. Yeah? Pretty good, eh? And you want to know what happened? I mean, you probably already know what happened, but let me fill you in on all the stuff that happened today on stage 6 of the Tour de France. You could be forgiven for thinking it was the 4th of July or even bonfire night because fireworks went off today. What a stage. I love it. This is why I bloody love the Tour de France. All right, let's take it back to the start. So 175 riders took to the start line. Paddy Bevin was out of the Tour de France. He crashed on stage 4, suffered a couple of broken ribs, and that was him done. Magnus Cort, who also suffered an injury on stage 4, was seen yesterday with his fingers in a splint. So he's riding with a broken finger. Not the worst injury you can have on a bicycle. I'm sure it's not very great descending. However, he did make the start. And really, it was all about the 7 climbs throughout the whole of the stage. And it did not disappoint. The first main story, I guess, was the race for the polka dot jersey. So there was 14 riders in that break, and in there was Ciccone. There was also Turns and the polka dot leader at the current time, which was Wellens. As he was looking to extend his advantage, Turns and Ciccone were obviously looking to take that jersey off of him. Loads of points on offer today for the riders. So if they could get up there, crack Wellens early, they could be in polka dot by the end of the day. So it was a great race within a race. And coming down to the last 2 climbs, there was a break of 4 riders who all went up the road. In there again was Ciccone, Turns and Wellens. Unfortunately, Wellens got dropped on that climb, and that was kind of the last we saw of him. It was a great, valiant effort, however, and the 2 riders went up the road. Ciccone and Turns just appeared to be on a different level today, and it appeared that Ciccone was on an extra level to Turns, but Turns obviously kept something in reserve and made Ciccone work, because Ciccone had showed his hand pretty early on and showed clearly he was the strongest rider in that break, that Turns was making him do a lot of the work. He was making him do most of the turns on the eventually the whole break had whittled down to 4 riders, then eventually got down to 2, and on the last climb, Ciccone and turns were pretty much going mano a mano. It was a bit of cat and mouse all the way up there, and then with about 300 meters to go where it really ramps up, they were both still together, and you couldn't call it. You didn't know who was going to go, and it looked like Ciccone was just sitting off the back of him so he could just get a bit of a run on him. But then turns just accelerated just enough, and literally it was just like he put a parking brake on Ciccone. He just went whip, and that was it, and he cracked, and he was so close to winning because it just almost flattened out at the top. And yeah, a couple more pedal strokes, and it might have been the other way. Turns might have cracked, and yeah, unfortunately for Ciccone, after all that hard work and effort he put in, well, Turns just rode the whole race right, didn't he really? Let him do all the work and then pip him at the line. So Turns took the victory. Ciccone in second place. One of the Want to Go Bear riders was in third place. I can't remember who it was. So going back to the start now and talking about GC, and they allowed that break to get a nice healthy lead. I think it went up to around 7-8 minutes throughout the day, and it put Ciccone in virtual yellow. Obviously it was never going to stay there, but you know, technically it was in virtual yellow for a little bit of time. Anyway, the pace, and what G just said there on the interview, the pace wasn't blistering, it wasn't red hot right from the start. So we talked yesterday about, I don't know, a rider going off pretty early, like Froome did back at the Giro when he went with 80k to go. Still early in the race to do that, but it's a perfect opportunity to do it while you're still feeling fresh. Catch them off guard, because they'll be reluctant to push because they're trying to save themselves. So it could have been a great opportunity for an outsider just to nip off up the road, but no one really did. And the pace on the front of the peloton wasn't, yeah, as I say, it wasn't blistering, but it was obviously, it was high. It wasn't like one of those days where you see Team Ineos or Team Sky back in the day take control of it and just sit at like 490 watts just going meh. A couple of teams were getting to the front, and the team who ultimately started to take it up towards the end was Movistar. With about 2.5k to go, Warren Barguil decided to put a bit of an attack in. As I say, Ineos had dropped the pace just a little bit, and it allowed Barguil just to sneak off up the road. It wasn't, I mean, it was a weak attack at best. He probably just maintained the same speed, and because everyone else had just slowed up a bit, it allowed him to get off the front. He got a little bit of a gap, but it wasn't massive. But then all of a sudden, Landa started to make moves, and he went up the road, and I was like, this is it. This is it. He's going to commit to this. And he went, and he got a good 20 seconds up the road. But then FDJ, I rarely see them on the front when it comes to a climb like this, but they were on the front, and they had their domestic climber on the front, and then Pinot just behind him. And he pulled him back. He pulled Landa all the way back, and it was a really impressive ride. And Pinot didn't really have to do much work. He just kind of sat there, and it just strung everybody out. And then Valverde was out the back, and the main contenders, they were thankfully they were still there. So you had the likes of Yates, Quintana, Bernal, G, Pinot, Port. I forget about Port. 300 to go. The camera cut to the race leaders, and then cut back to the main bunch. And who's attacking off the front? Bernal? No. Quintana? No. Alaphilippe? I mean, what does that yellow jersey do to someone? There must be at least another additional 100 watts in that yellow jersey. But he was attacking right up that 20% gradient, just smashing it to pieces. But as G said in the interview at the end, he had the confidence to allow him to go. He said, I saw him go and I thought he'd gone early, and I had the confidence to let him go and know that I'd pull him back. And G looks solid. So looking at that last, although it was only 300 meters, it says a lot about where the riders are at. It really does say a lot about where they're at currently. So G was able to drop them, albeit only a couple of seconds. It was enough to put some time into them. And when you looked at how strong he looked going up that last 300 compared to the likes of Quintana, Yates, Bernal, they all looked like they were really struggling. They all looked like they didn't have enough power to get up there. They were really, really struggling. Whereas G he looked pretty solid. I'm not going to lie, he looked really, really good. Here's what the top 10 of the GC looks like now, and I clearly don't know what I'm talking about because Ciccone actually made it into yellow jersey, not the virtual yellow jersey, the actual yellow jersey. And I can understand now why Alaphilippe was putting that dig in right at the end. 6 seconds in arrears now to Ciccone, who's in yellow. Dylan Teuns has moved up to 3rd position, 32 seconds behind Ciccone. Then you've got George Bennett, and obviously Geraint Thomas took some time out of Egan Bernal, so he's now in 5th position at 49 seconds. And you've got Bernal in 6th position, 53 seconds in arrears. Thibaut Pinot is there in 7th. Steven Kruijswijk, he didn't have a great day today, but he's still in there. On GC at 1 minute and 4 behind, and then rounding out the top 10, you've got the 2 EF Education first riders, 1 minute and 12 and 1 minute and 15 seconds respectively. Also in Tour de France. 1 minute. Hi mate, all right? Cheers mate, thank you. Oh. All right, so. You know, a couple of, 1 minute. You know, in the comments section of a few episodes ago, right, someone was complaining, or a couple of people complain now that that I keep wearing the same t-shirt. Someone mentioned that this t-shirt looks washed out, right? And I wore the same Wahoo t-shirt for like 3 days running. Well, I emailed them and I said, listen, people are complaining. And they said, don't worry, we'll send you, I mean, that's definitely not clothing. But they said, don't worry, we'll send you a care package. Said care package arrived today. Shoot, so we may as well open this. According to this, this is a Wahooligan sign. That is definitely going straight up. What about, I don't even fit in this place. Bang, look at that. I guess I should thank you lot for this one, because had you not complained, I probably would have carried on just wearing the same top over and over again, so. Oh yes! No way! Drinks holder, 2 new bottles. Right, okay, I'll give this away. Only because if I'm allowed to, I'll give that away because I've already got one of them and I don't tend to wear it anyway. T-shirts! Right, that's what this t-shirt should look like. That's what this t-shirt should look like. And clearly mine doesn't anymore. And another couple of towels, because God knows I need bloody towels. I can't believe what else is in here. I cannot believe what else is in here. I don't know what that is. A lock sack. Sock. Cat man. This is mental. Right, are you ready? Are you actually ready? Oh my God. Pink Element ball. I know I'm supposed to be doing the news right now, but holy moly. I'm so excited to see this. Oh my God. I've wanted one of these for ages. Look at that. So it's black. I'm not doing a review or anything. I'm just saying, like, the normal one is like a grey colour and this one's black on top, pink on bottom. If you want any Wahoo products, link down in the description. Go and show them some love because they've just shown me some love everywhere. That is ridiculous. I'll be honest now, I've lost my train of thought. So we just did Tour de France. That was it, Tour de France, right? We're going to have a Peter Sagan special segment because there's so much news to cover with Peter Sagan. First up, we showed yesterday Peter Sagan's dad's reaction to him winning. Well, this is Peter Sagan reacting to his dad's reaction of him winning.
To get your father. Did you see the video of him? Have you seen this?
No. The first time when he's doing that.
And have you ever wondered what Peter Sagan's like when the TV cameras aren't there? Well, it appears that he's exactly the same as you see him on the bike. Check this tweet out from Velon.
How many messages you have? Not a lot.
Anche mortis is Svenja. Oh, pasta, nice. Thank you very much.
Guys, I enter in this video and I would like to say that he's always like this. And today we won the stage. So you can imagine and he lose.
I prefer the beer, guys. Thank you very much again for your support, guys, and help what you did for me. Good effort. Thank you. And now we drink. Chico Dago! Chico Dago! Vino Pago! Vino Pago!
And the final part of Peter Sagan's segment today is Specialized have just dropped a video, and the only question I can ask, what
do you mean? Another news, bicycle scientists. Is that a thing? Bicycle scientists have announced the world is now flat?
No, we do it live! We do it live!
Let's go to the scene with Earl Weathers to get more. Thanks, Peter. I'm here with this random cyclist to explain this breaking news.
Boom! So easy.
If you want to go and see that video in its entirety, feel free to click down in the link in the description. Other news stories coming out of the Tour de France, and check this tweet out from Daniel Lloyd. Probably not the first person to say it, but it's the first time I actually noticed. All 3 times that the Planche des Belles Filles has been used, the yellow jersey at the end of the stage has gone on to win the Tour de France. So what we're saying, that's the Tour over and done with? You think that he's going to maintain the yellow jersey all the way to Paris now? If he is, then it's going to be a very boring 2 weeks. And FOMO has clearly set in with Chris Froome. He tweeted this out this morning ahead of today's stage. Massive FOMO today. Broken heart emoji. Won my first Le Tour stage on La Planche des Belles Filles in 2012. What I wouldn't give to be there racing today. Clearly in distress emoji. Please smash it, Team Ineos. Fist bump emoji. And today Velo News asked the question, does gravel belong on the Tour de France? Hell yes. Just like cobbles. But bear in mind, this climb wasn't really what you would class as gravel. It wasn't a full-on gravel road. It was a chip seal road, which is like that horrible, when they just layer tarmac on the ground. Bitumen, I think, is the better word for it. You know, bitumen, tar. They lay tar on the ground and then throw fine aggregate all over it. That stuff that just, when a car goes down it pushes all the loose stones to one side, so then when a cyclist goes through it, they get caught up in what is very deep gravel. But eventually, once the road's been cleared, it's a horrible surface to ride on, but I wouldn't exactly class it as gravel. In my opinion, I think each and every road surface should be incorporated into it, as long as there's no massive potholes. Let me pass the question off to you. As gravel riding is becoming more and more popular, and there seems to be this almost like a crossover now between road riding, mountain biking and cyclocross, and then right in the middle is this grey area of gravel. Do you think having a gravel only stage on the Tour de France where they get to use a gravel bike would be a good idea? And the last bit of Tour news is Ned Bolton, in my opinion, one of the best commentators on the Tour de France. He's covering it on ITV4 alongside Dave Miller and Peter Kennack. To celebrate his 50th birthday, David Miller has set him a challenge to race up Planche des Belles Filles with Peter Kennack, and they've given him a heads. Check this out. Check this Twitter out from David Miller.
Yeah, we're here at the bottom of Planche des Belles Filles, which means the plank of beautiful girls. We have here the birthday boy. How you doing, Ned? What?
All right, moving away from the Tour de France, but still with the pro peloton. Looks like Richard Carapaz is going to be joining Team Ineos after we reported that a few weeks ago. According to Eurosport, the Ecuadorian will join in 2020, insists Italian newspaper Gazzetta dello Sport. The Giro d'Italia champion said in June he wished to stay with Movistar after he was offered a reported €1.5 million by Team Ineos. However, it now appears his plans have changed, or more likely Team Ineos said, all right, we'll make it 2 million. Also, transfer rumours were that Sam Bennett was going to go to Quick-Step. It looks like he is now confirmed, although Patrick Lefevre still isn't sure whether he's going or not. Because according to Sticky Bottle on Twitter, red alert! The coining Quick-Step's Lefevre believes Sam Bennett signing confirmed. Yeah, according to Sticky Bottle, not officially confirmed yet. Probably has put pen to paper, because we know that Elia Viviani is leaving at the end of the year, but it's probably a matter of actually making it public knowledge before it actually comes out officially. But yeah, I'm going to put my my hat into the ring and say Sam Bennett is just about confirmed, riding for De Koenig Quick-Step next year, which is a great move for him. It's going to allow him that freedom that Elia Viviani has at the minute to be that lead sprinter and to actually go for stage wins more often on the bigger stage, instead of having to play second or third fiddle to Peter Sagan and the other sprinters within the Bora Hansgrohe team. A couple of days ago now, we reported on the fact that Canyon and Alpecin want to move their sponsorship money across to Mathieu van der Poel's team, and they want to sponsor Mathieu van der Poel. They believe that that's where they should be putting their money, which left the future of Katusha in doubt. But it appears that the team is going to fold at the end of the year. Now, there's still speculation that they're not, and they're in the process of re-registering for 2020, and they have 10 riders under contract for next year. But there's also reports coming out now saying that they've actually told team members and staff to start looking for jobs in 2020 because there is going to be no Team Katusha at the end of 2019. Moving on now, and my video recommendation for the day is the link down in the description. Go and check it out. It's from Velo News, and it's all about EF Education First and their training methods and how they train with and without power meters.
It's kind of impossible to tell a rider, hey, I just want you to go off of power today. It's also kind of impossible to tell a rider, hey, I want you to just go off of feel today. I think it's when you marry the two that you ultimately get the best result. That being said, I think we like to mix it up, right? Because when you pay attention to one variable versus another variable and you break apart that whole into distinct parts, you begin to dissect and learn more about yourself as an athlete. These tools are ultimately ways to give athletes feedback. And I think the coach's job is ultimately a way to reflect to the athlete what they're actually doing, and to give them the most accurate and unbiased information as you can get.
Now, one man that clearly didn't have a power meter when he was training is Eddie Merckx. Check out this report here from Cycling Weekly. It goes into how Eddie Merckx used to train when he was younger. How they used to train. Eddie Merckx's chain gang. This report gives you a bit of a backstory of how the team was formed around Eddie Merckx, and then it goes on to say exactly what they got up to during their training rides. Every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, the team met at his house just outside Brussels for a ride. Most of them were Belgians, so they were expected to turn up, and the ride plan was simple and unwavering. For almost the whole of January, the team rode 200 kilometers together. They rode side by side, swapping riders at the front, and they rode whatever the weather threw at them. Rain, hail or sleet, it didn't matter. Do you think riders of this era are still out there come sleet or rain now the likes of indoor training has become so popular? I mean, it's pretty rare nowadays that it rains and it's so cold during a race. You know, you might get it a little bit in the Spring Classic. Moving across to the Giro Rosa now, stage 6 was underway yesterday and they took in a 12.7 kilometer time trial, and the majority of it, this was clearly going to play into the hands of stage 5 winner, an absolute beast, Annemiek van Vleuten. With a max gradient of 8.7% and an elevation gain of 515 meters over the 12 kilometer course. A lot of riders opt in for their standard road bike, but one rider going for the out and out time trial bike was Elisa Longo Borghini. She went full on time trial, 3-spoke at the front and disc at the rear. Van der Breggen had opted for aero bars on what looks like a standard road frame, forgive me if I'm wrong there, and standard road wheels. However, Annemiek van Vleuten also went full aero on this one, with the Scott time trial bike, aero bars, deep section front wheel and a rear disc. And as Van Vleuten headed towards the line, she actually caught the rider in front of her, Kasia Niewiadoma. So let's take a quick look at the results of stage 6. Annemiek van Vleuten took the win 52 seconds ahead of the Bolsdomen rider Anna van der Breggen. Elisa Longo Borghini was in 3rd and Lucinda Brand 4th, but Annemiek van Vleuten was in a league of her own. So she extends her lead on the general classification to 4 minutes and 16 now. But you know what my highlight was? It wasn't anything to do with a race. It was this tweet that Owen Rogers put out. A picture from today's Giro Rosa podium. And you might be thinking to yourself, what's in that box? Because you know, sometimes at these races they give out really strange prizes. Like at Trowbro, I think they give a piglet. Over here in the Tour of Britain, the most combative rider receives a wheel of cheese. But the majority of time it's normally a Belgian beer or some sort of ham or something like that. But not at the Giro Rosa, no. What one prize would you think would be very valuable to a young lady racing? That's right, cookware. Did at no point any of these organisers think to ourselves, that might appear a little bit sexist? It's almost like they're saying, hey, don't worry, we've got you covered. Once you've finished messing about on your bike, love, once you get back home, you're going to be sorted for life. We're going to supply you with some pots and pans. I know she's really trying, and the rest of the ladies are really trying to win stage 7. I've heard at the intermediate sprint there's some marigolds up for grabs. I think the overall winner of the stage gets a mop and bucket, and there's also various cleaning products all the way down to 10th place. So I know that stage 7 is going to be really hotly contested because, you know, these women want nothing more than this cookware and these cleaning products. I know how important it is to them. All right then, main story. Who's ready to be triggered? Yesterday we reported on the Channel 5 documentary Cyclists, the Scourge of the Street, and how Chris Boardman had put together a new video just trying to iron out some facts and telling people to stop being idiots and listening to this propaganda that's coming out from Channel 5. Now this video from Phil Gaimon is going viral and it kind of piggybacks off that.
So I'm here today because I keep seeing these headlines about a cyclist who gets hit by a car, and the police or the media, the courts, they all blame the victim or they don't care at all. So for example, a cyclist is riding along, minding his own business, gets hit from behind, killed, and the police use it as a story about why you should wear a helmet rather than a story about why you should watch where you're going when you're driving a car. Or the report will say that the cyclist came out of nowhere, or darted in front of me, or was wearing black and therefore invisible, except they make cars that are black and you can see those, right? I even saw a headline once where it said the cyclist fell under a bus, which does not happen. And then recently there was a story near LA of a guy who ran over a cyclist, killed him, and then dragged the bicycle for miles, got home, was caught by the police destroying evidence, and got 1 year in jail. Jail, not prison.
He's absolutely right in what he says in that video. It's, I don't know. I wish there was an answer to this, I really do. I guess from a cyclist point of view, it's such an easily avoided tragedy. Like, it plays on our minds every time. For me personally, it plays on our minds every time we're going out on the bike on a ride. You are constantly worried about getting hit from behind. Like, I don't know, leave a comment down below and let me know. When you go out, does it even cross your mind? I mean, at some point when I know I'm on quiet roads and I know that there's no cars around, that moment is it's just a nice relief where you can just go, and you can just concentrate on cycling. But when you hit a main road or you're in a city centre riding around, it plays on my mind the majority of the time. And now I must have said this what I'm about to say in at least 10 separate videos, but never actually put it in because I always felt like I was going off too much at a tangent and it really wasn't relevant. But I feel it is here. The law will never change, and that's that. But this is what I think should happen to increase safety on the roads for cyclists, right? Everyone who drives a car, who has a license, has to spend at least 2 hours on the same roads that they actually drive up and down on. So if they've got a commute to and from work, one day just go and ride it. Make it law that they have to go and ride it. As part of a test, they go out with their driving instructor or a highly skilled professional cyclist, and they go out and they ride and they learn just how vulnerable you feel when you are out riding. If people did that, I'm sure the number of casualties and people killed on the road would significantly reduce. People aren't going to do it, I understand that. But what a lot of people, especially these people that take to Twitter, and we're going to check out a few of the comments from this video shortly, but these people that take to Twitter and take to social media and just slag and slate cyclists off for holding them up for all of 10 seconds of their life, they don't realise, they don't have the mentality to be able to process that is a human being. It's not a piece of road furniture, and just because you call it a cyclist doesn't mean it isn't what it is, which is a human being. That could easily be that person's son, daughter, mum, dad, granddad, it could be their boyfriend or girlfriend. They don't think about that. All they see is street furniture. But had the person who makes these comments on Twitter or who gets angry sat behind a cyclist, if they'd taken the time to be a cyclist, they might realise just how vulnerable a cyclist feels. And I think that is one of the main things we need to get across to car drivers who have this hatred towards cyclists. All right, rant over. Make sure you go down into the link in the description down below and go and watch that video if you've not done already, and go and show some support for Phil, because check out some of the comments that people are coming out with. I know we shouldn't give trolls airtime, but I mean, listen to some of this stupidity. I'm not going to read all this, but some of it. A guy goes out, spends 10k plus on a bike and fit setup to ride around with, other 50-year-old midlife crisis folk with zero experience. Y'all are asking for it. I cannot feel bad for you guys at all. I see plenty of packs of these want to be Lance Armstrong, acting rude, arrogant, flipping people off. You get the point. Right on the other side of the road so you can see the cars approach, dummy. Laws be damned. At least you have a chance to jump out of the way, dummy. Why ride on the road if you think it will be the death of you, dummy? Stop using the highway for exercise, you Someone needs to run this dumbass over twice. And we could go on and on and on. I'm sure we won't have any of those comments here because this video is not going viral. This is kind of between us as cyclists. And again, I'm preaching to the choir because you lot, you know the score. You're out there and you feel it. You know it. And that, my friends, was that. Thank you so much for getting us to this small little milestone. In the grand scheme of YouTube, it's minuscule, but to me it means a lot, and hopefully it does to you as well, because you've been there and you've supported the channel, and it means the world to me that you do that. So if you've enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you've disliked it, feel free to hit that dislike button, but above all else, hit that subscribe button if you've not done already. Hit that notification bell so you know when we go live with our videos. 8 days to go now until I'm in France for the Tour de France. France. Thanks for watching, everybody. And until tomorrow,